So I don't know if you saw the announcement, but my Discord server finally got partnered after years of advocating for it, being told people didn't understand why I wasn't my partners, existing partners, former partners, Discord staff. It finally happened. I'm super stoked. You can check us out at discord.gg/EposVox. I no longer need my own URL for it, although that one is still valid. I am super stoked. But with that came a period of self-reflection for me, my community manager, and my mod team on how we got to this point, the steps we took, because this was a deliberate, concentrated effort we've spent the past couple years working on. And we kind of wanted to share that value now that we had both, actual analytics, numbers to back up what we did and how successful it was, as well as, anecdotally, how things did or didn't work out for us. Because there's been a lot of drama surrounding the new partner program and the requirements and those getting removed from it and whatever. And I want to kind of come at it at a more positive angle versus the snark I may have had on Twitter on how you can actually use this to either attain partnership for yourself if you've been working at it and not quite there yet, or get back to it if you got the notice that, you need to clean up your server and get back there. So hopefully this helps. We're going to have a chat with my community manager, Ice Orb, and I hope you learn a thing or two.
Anyway, what are we doing?
I don't know. Discord partnership.
Yeah, you got it. You finally nailed it.
Yeah.
After 6 months? No, we're trying for longer than that. But
I think I was counting at one point. I submitted 10 total applications to the original partner program.
Yeah, there was I think it was around June of last year,
right,
when you really started to count them.
Yeah.
And people were saying things to you like, man, that's weird. How do you not have it yet?
Even Discord staff, which admittedly they weren't on the partnership team, but they're like, what do you mean you're not partnered? I'll look into it. And then nothing. And I'm like, oh, have I been blacklisted or something? Will no one tell me what's happening? And then they take down the entire partner program once I'm like, okay, we got it for real this time. Before my application even gets rejected, they just take down the partner program. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's how far you're going to go to keep me from...
You finally got it. It was last week or this week, over this weekend?
It was Friday, I want to say.
Cool.
I got the notification. It was literally the day after. Yeah, so probably Friday, because Thursday I got the email saying, hey, we received over 10,000 partnership applications and get 100 per day. We're going to take a couple more weeks. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then the very next day, I just get the little automated message in mod chat being like, hey, you're a partner now. I'm like, oh, okay. It happened.
Yeah. And I guess the drama around it is they just changed the requirements to have it.
Right.
Which, I mean, I know where I stand on it, which is that, if you got handed it to you, this is probably going to be a spicy take. I'm sorry. But if it was handed to you and you weren't actually using it,
right,
do you really need it? I'm not saying that there shouldn't be some kind of legacy thing in place where, you still get access to some of those tools that they had given you because they wanted you to have them for a reason. But what this is now, it seems like they're trying to bring value to something that they had devalued by just freely giving it away to everybody,
right.
Or at least everybody that they met in person. I don't know if that's true or not, but.
And I'm in two minds about it because I get it. I get that it sucks, and I've been there, that you were there day one promoting them when no one else knew what Discord was yet, and they're taking that away, and that feeling can suck. But also I've met a lot of partners who were the same people who told me, why the heck aren't you partner yet? Because I didn't even have a server yet. I asked, and they gave me a partnered server from scratch, who were like, yeah, I never really touched it. I may try to make it back in 6 weeks, but I don't expect much, and that's fine. I wasn't really using it, so I'll try to apply later. And that's been multiple people, and I imagine that's a lot of the partner base is just a lot of people who got it and sat on it. Like Twitch partners. There's a ton of Twitch partners who got partnered for one burst of relevance and then streamed to 5 viewers once every few months. It shouldn't really matter if you lose that partnership on Twitch either, and that's a whole separate conversation. But I do agree that there should be some sort of legacy denotation, and I've seen some chat in the partner Discord server about people recommending that, a different badge or something that says, hey, you were one of the OG or something. And yeah, but It's kind of weird to keep talking about that when I've already made it, but those are all the stances I had before I made partner, just to be clear. Available on Twitter.
Yeah, and also that's not the point of,
right.
I think, we're talking.
We're going to spin it to kind of talk about how you can get there or get back there if you were there, because honestly, it wasn't that difficult. It just required effort like anything else. Like currently, I'm not partnered on Twitch. With this exact same effort, if I had the capacity and the lifestyle to stream full time, I would make Twitch partner with these exact same strategies. And so for a lot of streamers especially, this should be fairly easy. IMO.
I'd agree with that, because it's nothing super crazy. It's things like, link it in your description, put it in your chat, have like a bot that just spits the link out, mention it on your stream.
We're not going to call anybody specifically out, but we checked out a few people who were complaining about the new requirements and how impossible they were, and they had virtually no way to find their Discord server. If it was like not obvious at all.
There was more than a couple where I spent an unhealthy amount of time trying to find just the invite to their Discord, and I couldn't find it. I know that sounds stupid, but
so I've been on Discord basically since Discord was made. I don't remember the exact year. I'm thinking 2015-ish. I made one. My server was initially just kind of like a friends and family server. It was for my YouTube buddies. It was kind of my private little corner to hang out. And I was hesitant for a year or two to really make it public because I knew I didn't have the capacity to moderate it very well or anything like that. And then I want to say it was like sometime 2016 to 2017 is when I made it public. And it was mostly a small scale thing. Like I just put it out there, let people join. I didn't want to promote it heavily again. It was just me. I didn't have bots set up. I didn't have the time or whatever to deal with that. And it kind of grew slowly from there. And then the last couple years were where I was really pushing it, where I would have dedicated mentions in videos. I would have specific, I set out a good channel. We originally had one moderator that was handling most of the moderation stuff. And then come last year, I really wanted to get serious about growing it and trying to get into the partner program. But especially since I had so many people confused why I wasn't in it, it felt like, okay, I should put in that extra effort. I want that hoodie. I want to go to the cool kids events or what have you, and go try to make it. Like I have this thing with my career where I'm like, okay, if there's something that I don't have that is attainable, let's break it down and see, the steps required to get there, because it's probably not too difficult. And obviously my YouTube channel and my presence online grows in that time as well, which grows the potential pool of people to join the server. But one of the big steps with that last year was making a real decision to change how I handled moderation so that it was mostly hands-off, that I had a team, starting with the person on the other end of the call who I haven't introduced yet, because lol, I'll probably do it at the intro of the video though, to really kind of handle this and build an actual community setup here. And that is what we've done. And so Isorb here is my actual community manager, effectively, for managing not only this, but other things, but to set up a structured team. And now we have, I'm going to fail because I think 4 moderators now.
We have 3. We got Hunter.
We have 4, counting
Cujo.
you.
Well, I guess I count, yeah. Hunter, Cujo, and Nick.
Yeah.
Although I primarily let those guys handle most of the actual mod stuff.
Right.
Like when most people look at moderator duties, they immediately think to things like, oh, I got to make sure that they keep the channel, safe for work, no racist stuff, no homophobic stuff. It's like, yeah, you got to do that, but that all is kind of not the most important things that you need to be doing.
Right. That stuff filters itself out once you have the community built around not accepting that kind of thing.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that they end up doing is just engagement with the community itself, keeping the conversation rolling, keeping things on topic.
If something weird does come up, they are transitioning it back to a normal topic and handling the rest of that privately or whatever.
Yeah, to some extent, they just started doing some more community involvement activities. One of them is running a more recent photography competition kind of thing.
Right.
So they'll split off into their own channels. We don't tell them what to do. They just sort of, they find what makes them the most interested. So one of them's pretty interested in photography. Another one's interested in coding. Another one is interested in retro gaming. or streaming, and they all sort of just collect into those different categories that we have, because we broke the channels up into different areas. We have like gaming, photography, videography. We have dedicated streaming sections, dedicated sections for food, that kind of thing. And people just sort of, they gravitate towards the things that they find most interesting. And that's kind of the way it should be.
Right.
You don't need to like put out a listing saying, hey, I'm looking for a guy that's like really into literally everything.
Yeah. But also, even just putting it out there publicly that you're looking for a moderator generally attracts people that you don't want. Like, we've had a couple people who show up in day one and are like, can we moderate for this server? And it's like, no, who are you? And a lot of that, I see this problem with streamers as well, which is why I'm trying to bridge that connection, in that a lot of people will just like add mod to the first 5 people who stay around in their chat. And while they could eventually be mod worthy or whatever, if you're just modding whoever's there, you're not really like curating the team that's necessarily best for you. And I've maybe made those mistakes in the past. And it took us a while to really build up to that level, because initially it was just me kind of grinding everything out. And then I was like, I need assistance to actually build up, the channel layout that we want, all the moderation tools that went into how the server is now, and brought on IceOrb, who had been already super helpful on all of this. Like, there's always going to be someone who's helping out in some capacity. And so you promote from within with that. And then he's helped pick out many of our other moderators who have come up and been involved based on their previous activity in the server in the first place. And how, you also don't want your mods being the only people chatting either. So you got to find the balance of people who are there, but who aren't necessarily the most talkative people, because that can also get them into trouble.
I'd say that actually has been the hardest fight, is getting people who join the server to just talk.
Right.
And a lot of people will join. I mean, you definitely have the numbers to back up this statement. A lot of people just join and just lurk, and
which is fair. I'm in like 100 servers and I don't talk in any of them myself.
Yeah, but like we generally want people to engage. We want them to talk, and you can kind of look to your mod team to sort of spark those conversations. So, we and it's not just your mod team either. And it's something to hammer home here is you can sort of encourage discussion by maintaining different groups that seem to stand out a little bit more than just, the general public role. That's not to say that the public role shouldn't be like undervalued, or should be undervalued in some way. Everybody that joins your server is really important. But it's kind of like a Jingle Keys effect. Somebody sees a colored name talking in your channel, they're going to want to respond to that. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be Vox, it could be me, it could be any of the mods, or it could be our resident pizza king, Dylan. It seems silly to give away titles or roles that have virtually no importance on the overall management of the channel, but it gives value to people who have been there. It's kind of like the legacy Discord thing we were just talking about. Yeah. Like you're giving them something to say, hey, this guy is important in this realm of discussion. You saw him talking. Maybe I should engage with that. Maybe I should reply to him and see what he has to say. Right. And that's just like a really simple thing that you can do. It has nothing to do with grinding away looking for a mod team. It's just, identify the people that are talking, are keeping on topic, and try to build them up a little bit, and others will flock to them, and they won't just constantly at you in the channel over and over again. Right.
And that's a big thing, is I don't think a lot of people understand, like, when it comes to investing time in their server or whatever, it doesn't need to be all you. Like, and I feel this way about streams sometimes as well too, but it's like, if you being there is the only thing keeping those people there, it's probably not a thriving community. So if everybody's only chatting in your Discord when you're present, then it's maybe not as self-sustaining as it should be for you to be on that right trajectory. And that's something that I wasn't sure about at first, because I treat my Discord server, like, a lot of people are often surprised that I talk in my server at all. And I get that, because I'll join other YouTubers' servers and like, they might as well not even be there. You can't even find them. But I've always treated mine as my own little like private corner of the internet. Like, it's where I live, and you're just kind of welcome to hang out there. And so that's good, but also I want it to be like a day like I had this weekend where I have no internet. Ideally, the whole server's still going without me. It's not waiting for me to show back up before everybody talks. And when you have those extra special, yeah, when you have those featured roles and people who stand out for what they do or what they're interested in and their expertise and things like that, that's much more likely to happen because it's not just about you. It's about members of the community. And speaking of the whole Legacy Discord role, I even have a separate role and secret channel for everyone who was in the server before I made it public as the secret little like squad to, you know, keep them together so that they're not just thrown to the public with what I set up after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, and just taking like a cursory glance through all of our channels here, like I can see that conversation just never, there's just basically no dead air. It's
right.
You know, 3:00 in the morning, you got Derek talking about various streaming topics in the streaming channel. Around that same time in the general channel, there's just normal discussion about NVIDIA and Big Navi.
Right.
Tech Help constantly has people in it, which, come on, someone please help us.
And so that is my biggest point of pride with our server, I think, is like as an example of one of these channels is that Tech Help channel. We have an entire dedicated, essentially tech support channel. And now that's kind of branched out to like the streamer chat. That's become its own kind of like specialized tech help and the audio tech channel and things like that. But we have our own tech support channels where I rarely need to be involved. It started where it was just me answering like common questions that don't fit in YouTube comments and all of that. But we had so many people come in and join and then start helping each other based on what's in my videos, the commands we have set up with the bots, and just general knowledge that we build in the server, that I have that channel muted and barely need to touch it unless I'm specifically called to like bring a correction, or like I'll check it a couple times a day and make sure, you know, sometimes people give wrong answers and I want to help because I'm nitpicky about details, but you know, it runs itself. It's not EposVox's tech support panel. It's just a tech support channel that everyone gets help in. And that's just like so cool and takes a big load off of my plate as well. Like that wouldn't be useful to me if it was more work. If it's for me to, you know, be done recording my video and then I got to log into Discord as a tech support portal and answer all these questions. It's just, they're helping each other.
Yeah.
It's really freaking cool. We're still working on promoting from within for that, for like dedicated tech helper roles, but so far it's been a huge success on the channel, on the server. Like there's probably so many people that have only come in for that and I've yet to see outside the channel that I'd be surprised when a certain name comes up. I was like, I don't even see them. Oh, they're in tech help. Okay. In every video like this, I reference past videos that I've made on subject X or product Y that would help expand your understanding of the subject at hand in the present video. However, more and more, it's becoming more difficult for you to actually find the videos that I'm referencing. I want to change that, and that starts with Nebula. I've partnered with a bunch of my creative friends for our own platform where we don't have to worry about demonetization or fighting an algorithm for you to find our content. Here, I'll have all of my normal videos that you know and love completely ad-free, as well as new Nebula originals and exclusive content that goes beyond what's available on YouTube. Again, ad-free. The platform features some of the top education creators from YouTube, as well as unique collaboration opportunities. CuriosityStream saw what was happening over on Nebula and wanted to support it further and partner up for more educational content. We have a deal now where if you sign up with the link below, you have access to CuriosityStream and their full library of great documentary and educational content, as well as all of Nebula's content for free included in it. So CuriosityStream is also offering a major promo right now where you can get full access to their site and Nebula at the same time, as long as your CuriosityStream subscription is active, for just under $15 a year. That's 26% off the usual annual price. Less than $15 a year for thousands of documentary and educational content, as well as everything we're doing over on Nebula, and it's also the best way to support my channel at the moment as well. While you're there, be sure to check out original shows such as Alex Goes Bananas, where Alex Nichols checks out the pop culture that I grew up with and is set to just make me feel like an old man, even though I'm not that old yet, as well as the podcast Genesis from Alex or Low Spec Gamer, where he talks about the origin stories of your favorite YouTubers. If you want to support my channel and other educational content, check out curiositystream.com/epos for sign up for just under $15 per year. Bonkers price, lots of great content, don't miss it.
Yeah, there's a few to that end, it's also, it should be mentioned that like you shouldn't be afraid to like just try something.
Right.
You might make a dead channel. That's cool.
We've had
it's gonna happen.
That's fine.
And we have done that. We've spun up channels thinking, oh, someone's going to use this and it's going to be amazing, and it's just not.
And with that, my advice, which I've been a little too stubborn about, maybe, has been to not spin up channels for every individual topic that someone requests, because so often there'll be like a singular topic that comes up sometimes in your general chat, and someone's like, why don't we have a dedicated topic for this? And then you do that, and then either your general chat dies or that specific channel never takes off. And so you got to really balance, like, how much of a focus has there been on this topic, and do you want to pull that away from your general chat? Because if you have specialized topics for everything, and I've been in servers like this, the general chat looks dead, and then that's kind of the first impression to newcomers who are like, wow, no one's even talking in here, bye.
Yeah, that because then you end up in a scenario where you need to change like which channel is the one that you want people seeing right away as soon as you join in.
Right. And that just gets really messy. We've had to do that a couple of times, and it's not fun.
But yeah, so I guess to kind of ground this a little bit, is the requirements that Discord put in place, they're not absurd. I know they look crazy. You know, you need 500 users. What is it? You need 500 users, 100 active chatters.
500 members total. Server has to be at least 8 weeks old, which, duh. Yeah. 50 communicators per week, which just means 50 individual people who talk in the server at least once per week.
Those should be your regulars.
Right.
And you
those
should
are the
not
people,
have
if you
problem.
stream or you upload videos, those are the people who you see their name every day.
Yep. And then you have at least 100 participators. Those are just hit and runs.
Right.
You'll get those. You should be getting those easy just from promoting the channel, having a link in your Twitter or Twitch bio or just anywhere. Those are just hit and runs. There's literally no engagement there.
Right. And that includes communicators too, from what I understand. So it's literally 50 people who talk and then 50 additional people who look. Like, easy. And then the big one that I think was getting a lot of existing partners and stuff, which I'm not entirely sure why, but is having at least 20% week 1 retention over an 8-week period. So when it shows you the retention, that's a rolling average of the past 8 weeks continuing, and that means everybody who joins your server, at least 20% of those people need to stay within the server within that first week. So you'll have a lot of people, and it's very natural, who will show up and then bounce immediately. And I've gotten hit with that all the time. I've always been confused by it because I'm like, why do you show up and then leave 1 second later? You didn't even have a chance to look at anything. But it's just the thing with Discord, and especially if you get on the community thing, that the discovery, that's even worse, but they don't actually count those, so that's cool. But like you're gonna have people who just hit and bounce, just like with your stream. You'll have an influx of viewers, and then it'll go back down, it'll go back up, it'll go back down. Those are the people who come in and say, it's not for me, or I don't understand Discord, so I'm gonna leave for the day instead of just closing Discord. People do that. It's annoying.
But this is also a thing that once it starts rolling, it doesn't necessarily stop. It'll slow down, sure, but you'll hit that 20% once you start hitting it consistently.
Right. Once people are actually coming in, you're going to be keeping them if your server's... I mean, if it's not, then you need to work on your server. Like,
yeah. So some of the strategies that over the last year that we've kind of been hammering at this, I know that these requirements have not been posted for that amount of time, but we've been trying to grind at this for a while, just to keep people coming into the server, bring value to the server. Is you have to look at it in a way where the Discord channel it's something you're offering to your viewers, whether you're a YouTube creator or a Twitch streamer. There has to be some value there. You can't just be you in a channel and you're talking to them. I know you think you're amazing. Sometimes people don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to you about certain topics.
Right. And if you're already a streamer and you have chat, like, what is the motivation to go to chat after hours? Like, there has to be something. Last year we did a lot of big stuff as well. I'll let you get to what we're doing overall, but there's one thing that we tried that we're getting back to that was wildly successful as well that I want to mention.
Well, I'll start with where we were. In late 2018, early 2019, we had about 800 and 900 users. And that's when I started to really help out. Right.
And that's an important metric to keep track of. So I've opened, say, 2015, made it public 2016, 2017, and in that year and a half, maybe 2 years, we got up to like 900 users. Keep track of that.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, which not bad.
So late 2018, early 2019, I came on and I revamped the entire layout, brought a whole bunch of automation in so that we could more accurately manage the users and provide a better experience, a better chatting experience to them.
Right.
And then once that was taken care of, it became sort of a mission of mine to bring value to it by having events that would go off in the server, whether it be giveaways or the most popular thing was our game nights. We would run them bi-weekly, and it would be retro game sort of themed, not necessarily retro, but like
just
old,
cheaper, more accessible games where everybody could play it or afford it, or if not, we could give it out. But like where no one was limited by, I can't run this or play this somehow. Yeah,
like it's going to be popular, or it's going to be something that you're going to want to jump to is immediately like, oh, latest Call of Duty, that's popular, let's play that. But you know what? Everyone in your community might not be playing that, or they might not want to play that. So go back
stuff
through
like Unreal Tournament, Day of Defeat.
Day of Defeat was the first one, which I still think was the best one.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah, we did Day of Defeat, Unreal Tournament, Monday Night Combat.
Oh yeah, that one was great too.
Fantastic. And all of these are examples of games that are both cheap, old, easily accessible, and we gave away something like probably like 20 copies each time, and it wasn't a thing where it was like a competition. You can frame it that way if you want, but in the end, I want you to play.
Right.
We want you to play. I'm going to give you a copy if you show up.
Yeah, if you show up and like, hey, we want to play, we don't have the game, there you go.
So we did 4 of those.
Yeah.
And spiked by like 400 users almost immediately.
Because I was also advertising that in my streamer news bi-weekly show that lined up with the thing, so it was easy promotion. You mention it in your content, especially if you have an event, mention it as leading up to it, explain what they need to do to come into it and to join that event. Easy to get viewers in here, and then they stuck around.
Yeah. So they showed up, they got a free thing, they got to play a game, they got to be in a video, because eventually we started cutting together community highlights of these videos, and those are just really quick hits. Like they don't need to be high art, just in fact, I'm pretty sure we posted them on Twitter. So
and I think I ran them during the streamer news as like ads for the next one.
It's like,
and we got to have you all submit clips for that too.
Yeah, under 2 minutes. You feature your community in them. People are stoked to see themselves in it, and it's easy. It's easy content, and it's further driving people towards your Discord.
Right.
And we kept that up until the end of the year. At which point, just from those events alone, we crossed over 1,500 users. So we went from around 900 to over 1,500, and all we were doing was just playing video games every 2 weeks.
Inviting people to play games. And it was only a couple hours. Like it started at like 9 p.m. Eastern and ran till maybe midnight-ish was the official cutoff. And then some of us would hang around a little longer, but that was when most people dropped because we killed the streams. But like it wasn't like a huge investment.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was the other thing is we made heavy use of Discord Go Live. Now, you don't have to do that if you want to do your Twitch stream thing, but something that I felt was a great way to involve the community within the Discord itself was use Discord Go Live, because then the value became
or to watch, you had to be in the server.
Be there to see it.
Right.
FOMO is a thing, and
and since they have since expanded the slots, but originally you could only have like 10 viewers, so we had like 6 different streams of the same game going, so everyone had something to watch.
Yeah, but also that works out because you can just jump around to different perspectives.
Right, and now you can do multi-stream. Now you can do multi-stream.
Oh wow!
You can watch all of them at once, so that'll be super clutch when we come back to it.
But yeah, like it's a thing that was super simple, super useful to us to bring in a bunch of users. We're gonna bring that back again this year, probably sooner rather than later. But the biggest thing that I think has brought in users is definitely something that you've been doing pretty recently. In what did you end up naming this channel? Giveaways.
We got game key giveaway and free downloads. Game key giveaway
Free
was actually
downloads,
Cujo's
that's what it
initiative. And so
Yeah.
if you've seen ads in my videos for like I have a analog vibes stream pack with like transitions and a couple, you know, be right back scenes and things like that I made on my own that I had originally made for me and I'm not really using anymore and just thought I'd share because I attract a lot of people who like the same vibes I do. That's how this kind of thing works. I've got a full 8K ready Photoshop file of a 2008 YouTube layout that you could swap in your own videos for and things like that. I sometimes share other people's free downloads. I've got, you know, wallpapers of my logo. We have a new voice pack for your stream from Starstream, our little robot friend who keeps invading my videos. And things like that. And I plan on, the goal was to keep doing it every week and then I got a little busy, but my goal is that I will have something of value at least once a month, if not twice a month, that you can use either for your video editing, your streams, your creative work in some way. I have a couple scripts for Vegas Pro to automatically disable smart resampling, which is a big frustration Vegas users have. And so my goal is to have something like that that's completely made by me, that, or, you know, legal to distribute this way, that will be distributed. And then we have a separate channel that will be for video game keys for mostly Steam usually, or I just threw in an Xbox Game Pass key where whoever gets it first can pull it. And I used to just drop these at random in general chat, but now we have a dedicated place because a lot of them weren't getting redeemed. And so usually around springtime, I think, is when the big, well, holiday and springtime is when all the big, like, everyone buys up all the Humble bundles or we get a bunch of extra keys. And so I would expect that to start getting a lot more momentum once we get kind of later in the winter.
Yeah.
Because I usually have a crap ton of keys to dump.
I'm just looking at the reaction numbers on the free downloads page, and that seems to be a pretty popular channel, actually.
Yeah, it was a big driver of people just to join in the first place when I was first launched it, too. Like, I still get interactions on the tweet for that analog vibes thing from over a month ago now.
Yeah, it's a great example of just something that you can do to bring value to your Discord. And
it benefits you as well, because they're here for you. They're going to click on your videos or, you know, your streams or whatever from here. It's basically like a mailing list, but it's Discord instead of email because Zoomers don't seem to use email.
But yeah, that's kind of the takeaway here is while the initial shock of being told that, you know, hey, you can't have Discord partner anymore because you're not hitting these requirements, try not to look at it that way. They're actually telling you why you can't have it, which is a lot better than most platforms.
Yeah, they're literally like, there's always some subjectivity, and yeah, if you meet those numbers and they join in and it's just like a platform for hate or something, you're not going to get in. But they're giving you some pretty hard, like, requirements that, not hard as in difficult, but like hard set in stone. Here's what you need to achieve. And that makes it a lot, like, immediately, as soon as they released those, when they announced the new partner program was coming, like, we immediately built a plan of action of how we were going to improve it. Because we had, for the most part, we had the retention numbers, but we were making changes to our moderation, which caused a little bit of drop off. And so we immediately knew, like, here's what we need to tackle, here's how we need to tackle it. And we implemented a lot of these strategies, or just like locked down on them more to make sure that we were ready to go.
To that point, actually, when these came out, they also rolled some tools, some metrics out that gave us some clues onto what we were doing wrong as far as user management goes. A lot of channels tend to rely on a gating process to, you know, filter through some of the chaff. We were one of them. We were using it. We were using a reaction gate, so that, you know, when you join in, you click a thing that says, you know, you agree with our rules and terms of service, blah, 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 all that. You know, you agree not to be a jerk, kind of thing. And for the most part, it worked just fine. You could actually use that as a sort of way of a metric to track how many users are joining your server. And by the time we ended up removing the gate, we had over 1,000 reactions on that post.
Right.
But yeah, so what the metrics were able to tell us was that people were joining and getting stuck in the gate.
And we could look at the people who were still there who didn't have the role assigned by it or whatever, and there were a lot.
So,
and then a lot of people bouncing as well, which hurts your retention numbers.
So what we ended up doing was removing the gate and then using some automation via the MeSeek bot. You don't have to use MeSeek, but I find it to be very useful. And there's also a secondary bot that we were using for a little while called KitRobot.
Right.
And we used the combination of those two bots to automate role assignment and that's the main one is role assignment. And that was more effectively getting people in, getting them into the channels that they should be in, getting them chatting. That's the main, I think that was probably the main thing that gave us our biggest boost was identifying why users were bouncing so quickly, where users were getting stuck, and how to get them into the channel and get them talking the quickest.
Right.
And it was, oddly enough, removing the gate. Like for certain people that might not be an option, just from the kind of users you have that come to you.
Right.
And I get that, but it honestly it seems like a silly thing where someone can't click I agree, but the numbers kind of back up that it is harder than you think.
And we're still working on a compromise for that, because then there are consequences in that we get raided with spam bots all the time that spam our users, and then when we ban them in mass, that hurts our retention because they no longer are sticking around for week 1. Now, I have put in a feature request with Discord that has got a ton of upvotes at the moment. I'll have it linked below to request
click the upvote. Click it.
Yeah, because we want that to not be the case anymore. So go check those, because I think that's an important feature that Discord should consider. But the new tools that they provided through the community system is super helpful. The insights, it only shows you like a brief overview, like the dashboard on YouTube on the main Discord view, but then you click go to server insights and it opens up a whole website for it. It's like full-fledged YouTube analytics here. Like they've got engagement numbers, who your audience is, demographics, views based on your actual announcement channels. I don't even know if you've seen all this, Ice. It's pretty insane.
I've seen a good amount of it, but it's enough where if again you're one of these people that got told you're losing Discord partner,
right?
You should be able to course correct it, unless you just weren't promoting your channel at all and you were just given partner. And
right. And I want to show you this graph right here. I think it represents what we were doing with the server. I just sent you a screenshot. Shows our membership over time. So we have leading up to when they announced the changes to the platform, late August. So this was only a month ago. We're sitting around 3,300 users, and that we have built up since all the original changes we talked about starting 2018, 2019, which is a pretty good amount. Going from that 1,500 to over 3,000, we doubled our our membership based on those original changes alone. Then Discord announced the new partner program and released the new tools. We had a new plan of action, and I started promoting the heck out of the server with the free downloads. We spiked up to, we are now over 5,000, and this actually isn't fully up to date because we have more members than it's showing. But we are up over like 5,300 members now with a big spike there, just by knowing what we needed to do, like just by being told what we needed to do.
Yeah, we're at 5,805.
Yeah, I don't know why it says 5,099.
So for 5,000.
Those tools that they provide. Now you have to enable them manually. So maybe if you haven't looked at your server, go check it out. Now I want to keep in mind there is a distinction here. By applying to the community, you do not need to be added as a discovery server. That is completely manual toggle, and that requires 10,000 members anyway. So most of us, like, we're still only at half that. But you do get cool tools like whenever someone first joins the server, it'll pop up a splash screen that shows like the highlighted channels that they should check out, like the rules and the general chat and a specialized chat. And that helps them find their way around a little bit easier. And then it specifies specific channels for your actual updates as well as your rules channel, so that there's like little badge indicators for which channel is which, and people who join can confuse it a lot less. And then you have the specific insights that'll tell you how many members have joined this week, how many visitors have joined this week. So we talked about those requirements earlier on in terms of it literally gives you weekly communicators, weekly new members, weekly new member retention. So you can see exactly what you need to work on and how you need to work on it. And combined with Discord having sent you that email if you used to be partner saying, hey, you don't meet it, as long as you have a community team and you're not trying to just carry it all on your own while doing all of your other content, I believe anyone could really accomplish this, because the set requirements are not low for anyone with a decent following or partnered on any other platform. Like, it's way harder to get partnered on Twitch. I saw a lot of people saying, even for partnered streamers, this is impossible. Getting partnered on Twitch requires so much more than this.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess there was some bullet points that we were talking about a couple of days ago, but the things to just kind of wrap it back around here is as far as your community team goes, that'll be the hardest fight is finding somebody that's as passionate about your content and about your community as you are. You're gonna try. It's gonna take a few attempts. Right. I don't necessarily treat this like a full-time job, but it is a full-time job. And anytime that I'm available to either just be in the Discord and just help users with anything, or anytime that I'm around, I try to be around. This is where I prefer to chat and discuss and engage with people. And if you can't find a person that bare minimum just wants to talk in your Discord, maybe don't pick them for like a mod, or maybe don't pick them for a community management type role. Don't pick randoms. That's the takeaway for that one, is just don't pick randoms.
Right. And overall, that's the thing, is you need to build a place that people want to be at over their list of 80 other servers like I have. Like, that's where they should be.
Yeah. The other thing is you need to trust them. You're going to be very protective of your community, as you should be, because you don't want someone accidentally screwing up your community. And on that same note, don't be afraid to kick people out. A lot of people will just not kick anyone because they think that if they kick this one person, it's going to ruin them forever. Yeah. It's not unlike how someone will come onto your YouTube video and say, I hate this now, unsub. It's like, all right, well, I guess you weren't a fan anyway. So try to look at it the same way. Like, if somebody's being a jerk, just get rid of them, because they're gonna bring the overall tone down in your channel. You don't want that. Right. You want it to be chill.
I've been grateful to see in the streamer space a lot more people kind of sharing that message with regards to their streams in the first place, because for a long time there are a lot of people who are like, I can't kick or ban anyone, because either you feel that desperate for viewers even though you shouldn't be, because you probably have way more than that, or you just feel like it's just not the right call. You will gain much more in actual community engagement and positivity by getting rid of people who you don't want in the community, who are causing trouble, who are always fighting with people, or who, are not representing you and what you want to be represented by, than just leaving everybody in, because those people turn far more people away than you will kick out yourself.
Yeah. And so the other 2 points that I have here are things that we touched on before, which was create some value for those people, for your regulars that are there, that have always been there. One example we have is a streamer role. Well, you guys don't have to do that, but on that same note, try to promote, or try to have non-destructive self-promotion policies, things like a streamer role, things like a self-promotion channel, where people can come in and they can say like, hey, I'm going live. Hey, this is my YouTube video that I just posted. You don't have to let that kind of stuff just fly off the handle in your general chat. You can say, you can do it in here. You can do it once a day. Please don't abuse it. And that kind of just self-moderates itself. Like, for the most part, we don't have people coming in here just taking advantage of it and just dumping their video every hour, and or dumping their stream link every hour. Like, it's
understood good. That it's not cool.
You're big.
Yep.
Other people would like to get big that like you. You should let them promote themselves. You don't have to say anything. You could just facilitate a channel for them, and then they'll just say whatever they want.
And personally, I've always been against the dedicated self-promo channels. Now, you can make your own decision. I've polled on Twitter a few times, and a lot of people much prefer having that in their server than the other options. But we have integrated a way where there are specific channels for specific things, where as long as it's on topic, or it's involved, or you have the dedicated role, you get added to our bot for it, you can promote that way. And that's kind of made up the need for people to do it, because like you said, it self-moderates itself in that if someone is coming in purely with that thing, no one's clicking on their video anyway. They're pointing out that it's wrong, and either the person deletes it or is like, oh my bad, or we just delete it if they're just a one-time hit and run kind of person anyway. And it hasn't been a problem. Like, knock on wood, you build a community that doesn't accept it or accepts it in a certain format, then it's a lot easier. And then we have, as you mentioned, the streamer role. Now this for us is another thing where the community has something that they can work towards if they want. Like we have kind of hardcore, or not hardcore, but like kind of like rigid but also somewhat subjective requirements in that, you know, you need to actually be streaming. We've had a few people apply who haven't streamed in 6 months, and we're like, why would you want this role? You're not streaming. Yeah. And so it kind of gives them a little sub goal to work towards if they want that special color and everything. And
this is my message to the people that apply to for the streamer role in your Discord. If you apply and you haven't gone live in the last 6 months, I'm not even going to message you.
Yeah. And that was my message about the Discord partner program in the first place, was like, if you have a partnered server and you're not using it, do you care if you lose it? Same idea here. Don't apply if you're not streaming, but it works out, and then they get added to a little bot and they get promoted, and we're looking for ways to integrate video creators in a similar way. And with that new photo contest, that helps photographers / people who do image-based, you know, social media stuff get their work out there as well. And that's something that the moderator team just completely did on their own, and I didn't even know about till after the fact. Now obviously if they thought I wouldn't have approved of it or whatever, they would have ran it by me first, but that's a completely like just initiative of their own that they just went with and is super useful for the community.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm not saying that sticking with all these guidelines is going to, you know, skyrocket your user engagement and your user
5 easy
numbers.
steps to guarantee your partnership.
It's not that. Like I'm not kidding. This took like a year and a half to get to this point. You know, I would hope that if you're one of the streamers that are partnered and have a healthy viewership on that platform, I would hope that you've been promoting your channel and your Discord channel in some way, especially if you valued partner to that degree where you know you're upset about potentially losing it. Because if you have been promoting it, then just doing a little bit of this might actually be all you need.
Right.
Like I said, the main takeaway here should be not that they're taking something from you, but that they are giving you the tools and the guidelines for you to actually hit those numbers and for it to be meaningful.
Right.
As it is, I don't think a partner badge should be used as a status symbol, which is so often is. I hope that they will eventually find a way to acknowledge those people that came before, like a legacy badge of some sort that gives them the access that they previously had. But until then, it is what it is.
Man. Like, it sucks, but it was necessary. And I mean, I've been advocating for a long time that the same thing needs to happen on Twitch. And I know a lot of people are like, but my parties, and as someone who was told by everyone who was in the partner program that I should be in it, and I still don't have access to that, obviously to me it makes a lot more sense to give me a path in which I can get to that. And then we did. And so now I get invited to those parties because I was given a straightforward path, not a random lottery of who was already there. And so I 100% agree that there should be some acknowledgement and bridge there that separates them. But I feel like even for those who had existing channels or servers rather, who maybe like didn't really know what to do with it or didn't know how to take it to the next step, by having set requirements that they need to maintain and now having this kind of information of like steps that you can do to get there, I feel like you're going to have a much better server for it. Like, there's probably very few, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but based on my experience being on other servers, talking with partners who are losing partnership and seeing the people who are advocating for and against it, I believe that there are probably not as many servers as you think that are right up against that edge of like requirements that are really active, great servers. It's mostly inactive or unpromoted ones, or ones that are right there, but just need that little extra push. And this should be that step that gives it to you. And it's okay to still, you know, to feel hurt by that and be like, oh, they're saying I suck. That's not really what they're saying. They're just saying to, you know, here's that extra step that really solidifies your place. So there you go.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Do you have any further questions about how we run our Discord server, or, you know, what other strategies we implement, feel free to join us. We are now at discord.gg/EposVox. No longer need my own link for it. By the way, one final tip. If you make it too difficult for people to join by having changing invite links or an obscure one like that, always make it easy to do so. So by not having the Discord vanity URL before, I had it a couple times through those server boosts, but we never kept it quite at 30. I just used my own domain service to redirect my Discord server. So it was eposvox.com/discord and then .gg/discord. I always had a link that I could, you could for the most part easily remember that would come back to me instead of being like discord.gg/lowercase k capital Q 7 U 12. And so I made it easy to find, and if the link changed, I was always updating it because I went through a lot of streamers and found outdated links or links that were broken, or you can't just tell it to someone verbally. And so having it that much more accessible is a big step, which is obviously an important part of getting the vanity URL in the first place. Have any questions for us? Come join us, come talk to us, check out what we have going. I believe you can even like save our server as a template with the new server templates and copy us if you want. I don't necessarily recommend that, but hey, you do you.
Yeah, I made a backup of the templates, so if people want to join, I'd be happy to give it to them. I don't know how much value you'll get out of it,
especially without the bots configured the same way. But
yeah, a lot
it's
of
a
the
starting
magic
place
is from the bots.
but also, if you're starting a server, just check out the templates they already have, because there's a lot that may actually help you along your way if you're not sure what channels you should have and things like that. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Thank you, Ice, for joining me and having this discussion.
There's no problem, man. And if anybody's watching this and wanting to chat with me, I only hang out in Vox's Discord. So.
Yeah.
So come on by.
Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe for more stream education, and I will see you next time.